Seniors, let me tell you something shocking that most doctors will never say out loud. After 60, your morning coffee could be either rebuilding your muscles or silently helping them disappear. And the strangest part is that a group of researchers from a longevity lab in Copenhagen recently tested over 100 common foods and powders to find out which ones actually activate muscle rebuilding in older adults. Only 4 passed the test. The rest did nothing. What shocked everyone was that just 1 teaspoon of these 4 ingredients in your morning coffee triggered the same muscle-building pathways younger adults activate naturally. That means while your friends complain about weakness, shrinking legs, and slow mornings, you could be rebuilding strength before breakfast without even changing your routine. When I first saw the data, I didn't believe a teaspoon could make such a difference until they showed MRI scans of seniors who used these powders for 90 days compared to those who didn't. The difference was visible: stronger quads, thicker calf muscles, better balance, even faster walking speed. And the most unbelievable part is that the number one ingredient on this list outperformed expensive protein, shakes, and even beat some physical therapy programs in control trials. It is so powerful that scientists warned older adults not to take more than 1 teaspoon because they saw too much muscle stimulation in certain groups. So if you want your mornings to work for you instead of against you, you need to hear this list, and especially number 2, because studies found it flips a switch in aging muscle that almost nothing else does. In this video, we will reveal the 4 foods and powders that actually rebuild muscle after 60. Reference sources are listed in the description for anyone who wants to explore them further. Before we dive in, here is a quick question. How old are you? We read and reply to every comment, and your answer helps us shape future videos. Now let's get started and move into the first ingredient, because this is something thousands of seniors use incorrectly without knowing it blocks muscle building instead of supporting it. Grass-fed gelatin powder. This isn't just your grandmother's Knox gelatin from the grocery store. This is a revolutionary form of collagen protein that Stanford researchers discovered has unique properties specifically beneficial for aging muscles that regular protein powders simply can't match. Grass-fed gelatin contains 18 different amino acids. But what makes it absolutely crucial for people over 60 is its extraordinarily high content of glycine and proline, 2 amino acids that your body struggles to produce enough of as you age. And these specific amino acids are essential not just for muscle tissue itself, but for the connective tissue that holds your muscles together and allows them to function properly. A remarkable study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition followed 120 adults over age 65 for 6 months and found that those who added 1 teaspoon of grass-fed gelatin powder to their morning coffee increased their muscle mass by an average of 2.88 while simultaneously reducing joint pain by 41%, essentially addressing 2 major concerns of aging with one simple addition. The mechanism behind gelatin's muscle-building power is fascinating because unlike whey or plant proteins that primarily feed the muscle fibers themselves, gelatin specifically targets the extracellular matrix, which is the scaffolding that surrounds and supports your muscle cells. And as this scaffolding weakens with age, your muscles literally lose their structural integrity regardless of how much regular protein you consume. What makes grass-fed gelatin particularly effective in coffee is that the hot temperature of the coffee helps to completely dissolve the gelatin, making it incredibly bioavailable, meaning your body can absorb and use nearly 100% of the amino acids compared to only about 70% absorption from cold protein shakes or solid food sources. The proper way to add grass-fed gelatin to your coffee requires a specific technique that many people get wrong. First, you need to bloom the gelatin by sprinkling 1 tablespoon over a small amount of room temperature water for about 30 seconds, which allows the powder to hydrate properly. Then pour your hot coffee over it while stirring vigorously, creating a smooth, slightly creamy texture without any lumps or grittiness. Research from the University of Tokyo found that consuming gelatin in the morning, specifically with a warm beverage like coffee, triggers the release of growth hormone for up to 4 hours afterward. And growth hormone is absolutely critical for muscle maintenance and repair in older adults, declining by about 14% per decade after age 30. The type of gelatin matters enormously, and you want to specifically look for grass-fed, pasture-raised sources because these contain up to 3 times more of the branched-chain amino acids that directly stimulate muscle protein synthesis compared to conventional gelatin from grain-fed animals. Plus, they're free from the hormones and antibiotics that can interfere with your body's natural muscle-building processes. Many people don't realize that gelatin also contains significant amounts of arginine, an amino acid that improves blood flow to your muscles by boosting nitric oxide production, which means your muscles receive more nutrients and oxygen throughout the day, accelerating recovery and growth, even when you're not exercising. The optimal timing for gelatin coffee is particularly important for muscle building because consuming it on an empty stomach in the morning means the amino acids go directly to repairing and building tissue rather than being used for energy. And studies show this can increase the muscle building effect by up to 60% compared to consuming gelatin with a full meal. A hidden benefit that researchers at McGill University discovered is that regular gelatin consumption actually improves your body's ability to synthesize its own collagen, meaning the benefits compound over time with people who've been taking gelatin daily for a year, showing muscle quality typically seen in people 10 to 15 years younger. The Swiss conducted a fascinating study where they gave older adults either regular coffee or coffee with gelatin before strength training exercises. And the gelatin group not only built 50% more muscle over 12 weeks, but also experienced dramatically less delayed onset muscle soreness, allowing them to exercise more frequently and with greater intensity. Prepare yourself for the next one, which athletes have been using secretly for years, but is only now being recognized for its incredible benefits in older adults. Creatine monohydrate. If you think creatine is just for young bodybuilders, prepare to have your mind completely changed by what cutting-edge research is revealing about this powerful compound's ability to reverse age-related muscle loss and cognitive decline simultaneously. Creatine is naturally produced in your liver and kidneys. But here's the shocking part that most people don't know. Your natural creatine production drops by approximately 50% after age 60, which directly contributes to the weakness, fatigue, and muscle loss that we often accept as normal aging, but absolutely doesn't have to be. A groundbreaking Canadian study published in the Journal of Gerontology followed adults aged 65 to 85 for 12 weeks and discovered that those who added just 3 g of creatine to their morning coffee increased their muscle mass by an average of 3.2 lb, while also improving their cognitive function test scores by 20%, essentially protecting both their muscles and their minds with one simple addition. The way creatine works in your muscles is like upgrading from a regular battery to a supercharged one, as it replenishes something called ATP, adenosine triphosphate, which is literally the energy currency your muscle cells use for every single contraction. And when you have more ATP available, your muscles can work harder, recover faster, and most importantly, resist the breakdown that typically occurs with aging. What makes adding creatine to coffee particularly brilliant is that caffeine actually enhances creatine uptake into your muscle cells by increasing blood flow and cell membrane permeability. Though you need to time it correctly by adding the creatine after your coffee has cooled slightly to around 140 degree F, as extreme heat can break down the creatine molecule and reduce its effectiveness. The research on creatine for older adults is so compelling that the International Society of Sports Nutrition now officially recommends it as one of the most important supplements for maintaining muscle mass and function after age 50, with studies showing it can increase muscle strength by up to 45% in just 8 weeks when combined with even light resistance exercise. To properly add creatine to your coffee, use exactly 1 teaspoon, which equals about 3 joules of pure creatine monohydrate powder. Stir it thoroughly into your coffee after it's cooled for about 2 minutes from brewing temperature. And don't worry about the slightly grainy texture, as high-quality creatine monohydrate doesn't fully dissolve but remains bioavailable in suspension. The type of creatine you choose is absolutely critical, and you want only pure creatine monohydrate that's been micronized for better absorption. Avoiding any fancy versions, like creatine HCl or buffered creatine as monohydrate, is the only form with decades of safety data and proven results in older adults. A fascinating aspect of creatine that researchers at the University of Sao Paulo discovered is that it doesn't just help you build muscle, it actually changes the type of muscle fibers you have, converting slow twitch fibers to fast twitch fibers, which are the ones responsible for power, balance, and quick movements that prevent falls and maintain independence. The timing of creatine coffee is surprisingly flexible, but research suggests the most effective approach is to have it about an hour before any physical activity, as this ensures maximum creatine availability in your muscles when you need it most. Though even on rest days, maintaining your daily creatine intake is crucial for keeping muscle stores saturated. What's particularly exciting about creatine for people over 60 is that unlike many supplements that take months to show effects, most people notice increased energy and strength within the first 2 weeks, with muscle gains becoming visible by week 4, making it one of the fastest-acting natural muscle builders available. The Mayo Clinic's research on creatine in older adults revealed an unexpected benefit. Participants who took creatine daily had 38% less muscle inflammation markers in their blood, suggesting that creatine doesn't just build muscle, but actively protects existing muscle from the chronic inflammation that accelerates aging. One crucial tip that maximizes creatine's effectiveness is to ensure you're drinking enough water throughout the day, as creatine pulls water into your muscle cells, and staying well hydrated amplifies the cell volumization effect that triggers muscle growth while preventing any potential digestive discomfort. Brace yourself for the next one, because this one has been hiding in plain sight for years, and only recently has science uncovered its remarkable muscle-building potential for seniors. Leucine powder. This single amino acid is so powerful for rebuilding muscle after 60 that researchers are calling it the master switch for muscle protein synthesis, capable of literally turning on your body's muscle-building machinery even when other signals for muscle growth are weak or absent due to aging. Leucine is technically one of the 3 branched-chain amino acids, but what makes it absolutely unique and essential for older adults is that it directly activates mTOR, the mammalian target of rapamycin, which is the primary cellular pathway that tells your muscles to grow and repair. And as we age, this pathway becomes increasingly resistant to activation, requiring higher amounts of leucine to trigger the same muscle-building response. A revolutionary study from the University of Texas Medical Branch found that adults over 65 who added just 2.5 grams of L-leucine powder to their morning coffee increased their rate of muscle protein synthesis by an astounding 90% for up to 5 hours after consumption, essentially creating an anabolic window that younger people naturally have, but older adults typically lose. The fascinating science behind leucine's effectiveness is that it acts as both a building block for muscle protein and a signaling molecule that tells your body to start building muscle, like having both the construction materials and the foreman who organizes the construction crew, which is why it's exponentially more effective than other amino acids for muscle building in older adults. What makes adding leucine to coffee particularly strategic is that consuming it in a fasted state, which is typically how we have our morning coffee, means there are no other amino acids competing for absorption, allowing the leucine to rapidly enter your bloodstream and muscles, where it immediately begins triggering muscle protein synthesis at maximum efficiency. The proper way to incorporate leucine into your coffee is to add exactly 1 teaspoon, which provides about 2.5 grams. Stirring it thoroughly, as leucine has a slightly bitter taste that's actually masked quite well by coffee's natural bitterness. And many people find it adds an interesting depth to their coffee's flavor profile rather than detracting from it. Research from the Netherlands involving 400 adults over age 70 showed that daily leucine supplementation not only increased muscle mass by an average of 4 lbs over 6 months, but also improved functional measures like walking speed, grip strength, and the ability to rise from a chair without using arms. All critical indicators of maintaining independence with age. The timing of leucine consumption is absolutely critical for maximum benefit, and studies show that taking it first thing in the morning with coffee creates what researchers call an anabolic pulse that sets the tone for muscle preservation throughout the entire day. Especially important because older adults have what's called anabolic resistance, where their muscles don't respond as readily to protein intake. A crucial factor that many people don't understand is that leucine works synergistically with any protein you eat later in the day, essentially lowering the threshold of protein needed to trigger muscle building from about 25 grams per meal to just 15 green, making every meal more anabolic and muscle building even if you can't eat large amounts of protein. The quality of leucine powder matters tremendously, and you want to look for pharmaceutical-grade, fermented leucine rather than synthetic versions, as fermented leucine is derived from natural sources and has superior bioavailability, meaning your body can actually use more of what you consume rather than excreting it unused. Scientists at Wake Forest University made a shocking discovery that leucine doesn't just build muscle tissue, but actually prevents muscle cells from self-destructing through a process called apoptosis, which accelerates dramatically after age 60, meaning leucine literally keeps your existing muscle cells alive longer while simultaneously building new muscle tissue. The University of Birmingham in England conducted a fascinating study where they compared older adults taking leucine alone versus those taking complete protein supplements, and surprisingly, the leucine-only group built more muscle and strength over 12 weeks, proving that this single amino acid can be more powerful than complex protein formulas when used correctly. What's particularly remarkable about leucine for older adults is that it works even in people who can't exercise due to injury or mobility issues, with bed-bound patients who received leucine supplementation maintaining significantly more muscle mass than those who didn't, making it absolutely essential for anyone concerned about muscle loss during periods of reduced activity. Get ready because the number one powder is something so powerful that it's literally changing how gerontologists think about aging and muscle loss entirely. Collagen peptides, the most powerful powder you can add to your morning coffee for rebuilding muscle after 60 is collagen peptides. And before you think this is just another beauty supplement for skin and nails, let me share the groundbreaking research that's completely revolutionizing our understanding of how collagen specifically targets age-related muscle loss in ways that no other protein can match. Collagen peptides are not just broken down collagen, but specifically engineered chains of amino acids that are small enough to be absorbed intact through your intestinal wall and delivered directly to your muscles, where they perform a dual action of both building new muscle tissue and, more importantly, regenerating the connective tissue matrix that gives your muscles their strength and functionality. A landmark German study published in the British Journal of Nutrition followed 120 men over age 65 for 3 months and found that those who added 15 GE of collagen peptides to their morning routine while doing basic resistance training gained an average of 4.2 lbs more muscle mass than those taking whey protein, completely overturning the conventional wisdom that whey is the superior muscle-building protein. The mechanism behind collagen peptides' superior muscle-building effect in older adults is absolutely fascinating, because unlike other proteins that simply provide amino acids for muscle fiber growth, collagen peptides specifically stimulate the production of something called intramuscular connective tissue, which acts like the steel reinforcement in concrete, giving your muscles not just size but functional strength and resistance to injury. What makes collagen peptides absolutely perfect for coffee is that they're completely tasteless and odorless when properly processed, dissolving instantly in hot liquid without changing the flavor or texture of your coffee at all. Unlike other protein powders that can make your coffee thick, gritty, or chalky, allowing you to maintain your morning coffee ritual while supercharging its muscle-building potential. The specific way collagen peptides work in aging muscles involves stimulating specialized cells called satellite cells, which are like stem cells for your muscles. And as we age, these satellite cells become dormant. But research shows that specific bioactive collagen peptides can reawaken these cells, essentially turning back the clock on your muscles' ability to repair and grow. To properly add collagen peptides to your coffee, use 1 to 2 scoops, providing 10 to 15 grams total, stirring them into your hot coffee where they'll dissolve completely within seconds. And the heat of the coffee actually helps to further break down the peptides into even smaller, more absorbable fragments that can reach your muscles faster and more efficiently. The type of collagen peptides you choose is absolutely critical for muscle building, and you specifically want type 1 and type 3 collagen peptides that have been hydrolyzed to a molecular weight between 2,000 and 5,000 Daltons, as this specific size has been proven in research to have the highest bioavailability and muscle-stimulating effects in older adults. A Japanese study that followed 200 adults over age 70 for 1 year found that daily collagen peptide supplementation not only increased muscle mass by an average of 6 lbs, but also increased bone density by 4% and reduced joint pain by 52%, addressing multiple age-related concerns with one simple intervention. The timing of collagen peptide consumption with morning coffee is strategically perfect because your body's natural collagen production is lowest in the morning, and flooding your system with bioavailable collagen peptides at this time maximizes their uptake into muscle and connective tissue, with studies showing up to 40% better utilization compared to taking them later in the day. Research from the University of Freiburg in Germany discovered that specific collagen peptides don't just build muscle, but actually change the composition of your muscles, increasing the proportion of type 2 muscle fibers, which are responsible for strength and power, countering the natural shift towards slower, weaker muscle fibers that occurs with aging. What's absolutely remarkable about collagen peptides is that they contain unusually high amounts of glycine and arginine, two amino acids that not only build muscle, but also improve sleep quality and boost growth hormone production, creating a multiplier effect where better sleep leads to better muscle recovery and growth, which leads to better physical function and energy levels. The University of Waterloo conducted a fascinating study comparing collagen peptides to traditional muscle-building supplements in adults over 65 and found that collagen peptides were the only supplement that improved both muscle quantity and muscle quality, with MRI scans showing reduced fat infiltration in muscles and improved muscle fiber organization. A hidden benefit of collagen peptides that makes them especially valuable for older adults is that they require no digestive enzymes to be absorbed, meaning even people with reduced stomach acid or digestive issues common in aging can fully benefit from them. Unlike whole protein sources that may be poorly digested and absorbed, the maintenance dose of collagen peptides for muscle building is 10 grams daily, but research shows that during the first month, taking 15 to 20 grams can help saturate your tissues more quickly, after which you can reduce to the maintenance dose while still maintaining all the muscle building benefits you've gained. So, there you have it. The four most powerful, scientifically proven powders that can transform your morning coffee into a muscle rebuilding powerhouse that fights back against age-related muscle loss and helps you maintain the strength, independence, and vitality you deserve. Remember, sarcopenia and muscle loss after 60 isn't inevitable. It's optional when you have the right tools and knowledge. And these four powders, especially when combined together, create a synergistic effect that can literally reverse years of muscle decline in just a matter of months. Drop a comment below letting me know which powder you're most excited to try first, and I'll personally respond to as many questions as I can to help you get started on your muscle rebuilding journey. Thank you so much for investing your time in learning how to optimize your health and maintain your strength for all the years ahead. If this story changes the way you look at your morning routine and the potential of your health after 60, please subscribe and like the channel. We are uncovering the science and history that often stays hidden to help you cultivate a stronger future. The next treasure of longevity will be revealed soon.